first program, in case you've heard of that or you may not. That is the state's initiative to have regions develop inclusive economic development plans that relate to workforce development pipeline to quality jobs in opportunity areas for their regions. We have done an extensive amount of research in conjunction with the Brookings Institution to understand what are the opportunities in our region. And manufacturing, especially as it relates to precision manufacturing, has come up in the research very strong. So we really wanted to hear from you today what you're seeing from your perspective as employers and industry partners. The first portion of this event is to ask you some questions specifically related to workforce development. And then the second portion of it will be more of an economic development conversation that's led by Nick. But I'm going to hand it over to Nick right now because I think he has a few words to say as well.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate you all coming today. My name is Nick Guptill. I'm a project manager at the Greater Sacramento Economic Council. We're working in conjunction with Valley Vision to conduct these industry roundtables to better understand the state of the industry in precision manufacturing and the needs and how we can address those issues. The Greater Sacramento Economic Council is the regional nonprofit public-private partnership economic development organization dedicated to driving and bringing additional jobs and investment into the community. And so we have a team of about 15 people. And on the business development side, we work to help attract and help companies expand in the region through a variety of free services. And so really, really excited to hear your feedback and your insights into the region. And yeah, well, this is kind of a two-part conversation. So we're gonna have Valley Vision lead the first part, and then I will be leading the second part. It's kind of a kill two birds with one stone situation here. And so while you're all in the room. So I will pass it to Dean to give a quick introduction. We're having this event in conjunction with the Sacramento Valley Manufacturing Alliance.
Hey everybody, Dean Peckham. I serve as Executive Director of the Sacramento Valley Manufacturing Alliance. We were organized about 6 years ago by the manufacturers in the region to address the need for qualified, well-trained workforce. Doing so through our partnerships with the education community. Thank you, Richard, for being here today, as well as, high schools, and then also building apprenticeship programs around CNC machining, and quality control. So thank you again, everybody, for being here. Like to acknowledge Roland Gillen and Nick Bruno, who are SVMA members as well.
Thank you, Dean. And I think if we go to the next slide, or maybe one more, we can get to one more. I just want to tell you a little bit about these industry advisories, because this may be the first time that you're attending one, particularly if you're an industry partner. So Valley Vision has partnered again with the community college system and the workforce boards for over 6 years now, putting together these industry advisories to help education and training partners learn what is happening with industry so that they can adapt and develop curriculum to meet the needs. We ask questions, which we'll ask of you today, about what your current needs are and what your projected needs are. It's working with education and employers is interesting and important because the two need to talk together very well in order for us to solve the challenges that we need to make sure that you all have the talent that you need. But it's sort of like when you go to another country and try to order off the menu and you don't know the language. So academia and employers have different languages for the most part. And so strengthening this collaboration is really what we're all about. We're grateful to have our education partners in the room, and Julie is the Director of Employer Partnerships with the community colleges. So she's specifically in charge of employer relationships. She's someone you want to get to know. And so we will move forward with the advisory, and we thank you for being here. I want to acknowledge Ebony Benzing is here from the Centers of Excellence. If you don't know what the Center of Excellence is, it is a labor market research kind of arm of the community college system. Ebony can tell you more about it, but one thing about that kind of two different languages and two different systems is that public system education and training partners have to be able to justify new program offerings. They have to be able to show that in data so that they can get the investments that they need in order to develop programs. That's why Ebony's position and role is important. And that's why talking to you all is important, because as industry is changing, sometimes the labor market data isn't there, but you know what's happening, you know what's changing and what the need's going to be, but it hasn't showed up in the data yet. So we really need to know that so that we can provide that information to our education partners. So Ebony.
Good afternoon. My name is Ebony Joy Benzing, and As I was introduced before, I'm the director of the North Greater Sacramento Center of Excellence for Labor Market Research. There are about 9 centers throughout the state, and we are associated with the California Community College system. And our primary mission is to support the development of career education programs in the community college space. I'm not going to take up too much time today. I just wanted to highlight some work that the center has recently done, and this is a few snapshots of the advanced manufacturing sector profile that we produced for the Sacramento region back in fall of 2023. It provides a high-level overview of key employment within the sector across the region and highlights critical occupational groups for us. Occupations are essentially buckets that kind of capture the different types of jobs that are available. We go on to share kind of from job postings data, what are the most in-demand skills, what employers have been most active in terms of job posting activity, and so on. We also highlight community college programs in each of the profiles. Next slide, please. So that's my spiel. It's just very quick and simple. I have my contact information up here, and if you are curious about all of our sector profiles, there are 10 of them in total. You can access them with this QR code. Thank you.
Thanks, Ebony. So I think what we want to do next is do introductions around the room. And so we'll have you just kind of answer the first question at the same time. If you can tell us who you are, what your organization is that you're with, and what kind of manufacturing you do, and potentially the size of your workforce would be really helpful. And so I'm gonna hit on the person to my right, so sorry, that's either good or bad for you, if you could do that.
Yeah, no problem. My name is Tommy Williams with Justified Performance. We are a fabrication shop in Rockland, right off of 65 and Sunset. We do pretty much mostly sheet metal, a little bit of structural welding, laser cutting, forming, pretty much anything with metal we can handle. We also have another avenue of the business that we do classic car restoration and manufacturing of aftermarket automotive parts that are all our brand, our names. So we have about 20 people that work for us. And the second question, what are the key occupations?
You don't have to answer the second question. I know.
Let's go with number 1 for now.
Yeah, can you take the questions down and we'll just kind of go around with the introduction, and we can see the folks online. You're next.
All right, I'm Nick Bruno with Harrison Bruno International. We're a Roseville-based company, and we make printing equipment. So it's not a real glamorous industry, but we put coating on ink. I mean, that's our claim to fame. So we're working with OEMs that make printing devices like HP, big inkjet, commercial printers, companies in Germany, Japan that build printing devices. Then we also service the end user market. Question's gone.
The size of your workforce, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
What's that?
The size of your workforce?
We have in Roseville, we have about 100 people.
Okay.
And we're very vertically integrated. So we do everything from, we take spare part orders, we take equipment orders. So we have a lot of admin people. Then we have all the engineering disciplines, electrical, mechanical, software. And then we also have a big machine shop and assembly area where we make most of our parts and assemble everything and test it and ship it out.
Perfect, thank you. We'll see you there.
Good afternoon. My name is Tony Lopez. I am the Vice President for Pride Industries. Pride offers customizable solutions in the facilities management space, as well as manufacturing logistics. And we've got this very unique social mission where we create employment for people with disabilities. We are currently in 15 different states and DC with a total headcount of around 4,000 individuals. Of that, 50% have some form of a disability. Here locally, we have under the manufacturing arm about 285 in the Sacramento Valley.
Hi, I'm Jared Stutzman with USI Insurance Brokers. Obviously, we don't manufacture anything, but wanted to heard about the event through research of the SVMA and just wanted to get connected with what's going on in the local community and kind of bolster my knowledge of what you guys are facing. So,
Thank you. See you.
Sure, yeah, I'll go. My name is Roger Sandu. I'm with Two Diamond Growers here in Sacramento. So you guys know we're the world's largest co-op for almonds and kind of biggest almond guys on the block. The Sacramento site, which I'm at, is a little under 800 for manufacturing here. That's everything. In maintenance, when I'm the site maintenance manager here, we're a team of about a little under 75. Yeah, we're here to see if we can find people to fill this niche of highly skilled technicians.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Roland Gillen. I'm an SVMA board member, actually since inception. The company's vendor insurance solutions, primarily Sacramento-based forward employee-owned company, servicing really manufacturing and other industries throughout California and the western states. Thank you.
My name is Dan Hayes. I'm the president, CEO of Universal Custom Display, which is a millwork cabinet shop down in Elk Grove. About 100 employees. We service three different primary areas: residential, which toll brothers. 5 communities for them right now. We do local commercial, GC work, office TI, medical, dental, that sort of thing. And then I would say the majority of the business is on the retail side. So we're building store fixtures and displays for the likes of Safeway, Albertsons, American Eagle Outfitters, Macy's, Bloomingdale's, See's candy stores. It goes on and on. Been in business we're in our 26th year. Yeah, 100 employees. This is Marvin Adams, our general manager. But yeah, labor has become a very, very big problem. Very, very big problem. Lack of. So got the opportunity. Somebody invited me.
Great.
I invited Marvin. I said, listen, that's what you're doing.
Thank you.
That would be me.
Thanks.
Marvin, did you have more you want to add or?
No.
Nope, you're good. Okay, all right, we'll go over
We'll
here.
go right there.
Rob Sanger, I'm with the SEMI Foundation. We're the workforce arm of SEMI, which is the advocacy and trade show arm of represent semiconductor fabs and equipment makers. So on the fab side, you've got the Intel, the Samsung, CMCs, TSMCs. A lot of these jobs are coming back to the United States with the CHIPS Act money. California, we have a lot of fabs here already. We're not building any new ones, but Texas, Arizona, New York, other places are building those. So we gotta figure out how we build out that workforce. But Bosch in Roseville is gonna be, eventually expanding and hiring a lot of folks. So I live in Midtown, Sacramento, but our office is in Milpitas. So I do a lot of work in the Bay Area and Arizona right now, but I'm happy to, kind of work with the workforce in the Sacramento Valley area as well. But we're anticipating, between 500 to like 900,000 technician jobs are gonna be needed in the United States over the next 5 years with the CHIPS Act money coming in. So, especially like places like in Arizona that already have a hard time, really low unemployment, really hard time, getting new people to get in that workforce. We got to figure out how to get K through 12 community colleges. Really, how do we get kids engaged in these technical jobs? We're also, interested in engineers as well, but technician jobs is probably the biggest skills gap we have.
Thank you.
Tony?
Yes, my name is Tony Serra. I'm the executive vice president for DMG Mori Manufacturing, which is some of you may know as Moriseki, is the previous company name. We're a global manufacturer for machining equipment, machine tools, so precision metal cutting equipment. Global footprint is about 12,000 people. We have 17 production centers, factories worldwide. The one in Davis happens to be the only one in the Americas, in North America especially. Within our facility in Davis, we have between 150 to 200 people that work out of that office, out of that facility, doing maybe similar, kind of vertically integrated, a lot of different functions that we do in order to build kind of complicated machinery. Anything from design, engineering, procurement, fabrication, sheet metal fabrication, as well as our own machining that we do in precision assembly, quality control, those types of things. So a lot of the same, I think, types of skill sets or technician level work that we do at our facility there. Which you probably see as you drive on Interstate 80, the big concrete building, nobody really knows what's inside it. That's it. That's us.
That's what it is. Okay. Thank
right.
you. very much. Richard, do you want to?
Richard Gentry, Department Chair at Sacramento City College of the Mechanical Electrical Technology. Our oldest program is our stationary engineer and HVAC program, almost 75 years old. We also have an industrial maintenance technician program. It's been running for about 3 years. With that, we also have a few CNC courses that we made the decision long ago that what we do is maintenance, right? Troubleshooting. So our CNC focus, we're building a program around CNC maintenance. So there'll be an operator piece because, well, you need to know how it works before you can fix it. But we're still going to be focusing on maintenance of machinery. I also have fall 2025. We're slated to start our electronics technology program, which is industrial automation and telecommunications.
Hi, Julie Mayer. I'm the Director of Employer Partnership for the North region, but I am posted at the community colleges within Los Rios. I help support all the community colleges in the area, including Sierra, Yuba, Woodland, and Lake Tahoe. My sector is advanced manufacturing, so my role is to create those relationships with employers, work with the community colleges like Richard, have employers on campus for career fairs, tours. We can do work-based learning to try to bridge the gap and fulfill the skills that employers are looking for within our program. So thank you all for being here.
Hi, my name is JP Singh. I'm owner of Omega Machine and Tool based in West Sacramento. We do have a small CNC machine shop where we make aftermarket parts for the transmissions for the auto transmission industry for passenger cars and trucks. And we have a small force of 8 people. And finding a good technician or a CNC programmer operator is very tough.
Hello, everyone. Mark Kaufman, co-founder and executive vice president of Crossbow Launch Systems. We're predominantly a rocket propulsion company. We do integrate our rocket motors into launch vehicle architectures and fly them as well. We've got about over 200 employees throughout the U.S. We've made a recent acquisition here in the Sacramento region of a composites facility called Spencer Composites, and looking forward to the interaction with it.
I'm Sony Mulaja. I'm CEO of SIR Robotics, which is the US business unit of robotic system integrator headquartered out of Italy. We started business recently here in Sacramento. We are a team at the moment of 6 full-time employees, and we're mainly acting providing service and maintenance activities for robotic systems for industrial manufacturing.
Oh, I'm Pete Rainen. I'm the general manager of ACM Machine in Rancho Cordova. Our primary business is ball valve components for the oil and gas industry, which is extremely low right now. And then we do a lot of other general machine subcontract other shops. We're about 55 strong today, although we just laid 2 off today. So not good times right now.
Yeah. Transition.
Hi, my name is Pavel Bordevich. I'm owner of Robotic Precision Machine and manufacturing business. Also, I'm co-founder of Boardman Industrial Group startup, which is main business is product development for sports equipment and hunting and arms equipment. But Robotic Precision Machining manufacturing business, that's small machine shop, which we mostly producing aerospace products, robotic products. We are originally, our origins are from Silicon Valley, where we were serving for most of the startups and high-tech companies over there. But a couple years ago, we relocated to Rancho Cordova.
I'm Jim Schaefer. I was with SVMA since the beginning, the Sacramento Valley Manufacturing Alliance. I also have my own business where I upskill my shop floor employees. I also have to be an elected and city council member for the city of City Cypress.
I think we have some folks online. D'Angelo, if you would just maybe one at a time call out folks for us.
We have Brent Wolf.
Yeah, hi, I'm Brett Wolf. I'm the Director of College Career Readiness in San Juan Unified School District. And just happy to be invited to this meeting. In San Juan Unified, we have 9 comprehensive high schools. And across those high schools, we have quite a few different CTE pathways, concentrating on manufacturing, engineering, welding, construction. And so just, listening to the job outlook is very encouraging. And just anything that we can do to partner with you, we're always open and willing. And when it comes to anything like guest speakers, tours of your facilities, internships during the summer, even job placements during the school year. So thank you.
Perfect. Jordan Mayer. Hope I said that last name right.
Yeah, Jordan Meyer. I am the chair of the Electronics Technology Department at American River College. So we teach students about a number of pathways. We do solar, we do basic electronics, and we also do biomedical. So we're happy to be here and hear about what the industry is looking for our students.
Andy Lindsay.
Yes, my name is Andy Lindsay, and I'm an adjunct professor at American River College teaching electronics. I also, and so I'm here today to hear what you have to say about needs of training. I also wear a second hat as an electronics engineer and curriculum developer for a company called Parallax in Rockland. Parallax is a company with roughly 15 employees. I think we're next door to Justified Performance Sheet Metal and across Highway 65 from Pride Industries. So it's good to see you guys there. And we manufacture microcontroller modules and STEM education products. And so we also have manufacturing technician needs from time to time. And so I might have some things to share on that end as well.
Perfect. Nazar Al-Bassem.
Yeah, good afternoon. I am adjunct faculty in American River College. Recently I joined the college. I am teaching the 2 modules, the nanotechnology and computer application in addition to the semiconductors. My interest in electronics and telecommunication.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I Almighty. Hope I said that correctly. Let's go to the next one.
Yeah, I'm Al Ahmadi. I am the electronics faculty for American River College. I'm here to kind of gain some knowledge in what the new industry demands out there to share with my students.
Perfect. Adrian Vacres. Joseph Preciado.
Good afternoon, Joseph Preciado. Happy to be here, part of SMUD, Sacramento Municipal Utilities District. I'm part of our regional workforce development team, and part of what we're doing and what SMUD is working on right now is trying to connect job seekers to employers who are hiring with specific skill sets in the energy industry, as well as advanced manufacturing and other industries. So happy to be here and learn, and thank you.
Thanks, Joe. Kay Harley.
I'm here as an adult educator and interested in what types of skills we can have adult students gain to be successful in your industries.
Thank you. And then Denise Bushnell.
Hi, everyone. I'm Denise Bushnell. I am representing Sierra College, and I am the faculty coordinator for the 21 current tech ed programs at Sierra, of which advanced manufacturing is one of our applied tech programs. We at Sierra have a a degree and a certificate program. And we're looking to, find exactly how we can expand our pipeline to assist employers, provide them with our employees that have the right skill set. Always looking to update our curriculum and to learn more about, the skills that our students need, and also internship opportunities as well.
Thank you, Kay. Sorry, Denise. Adrian, are you there by chance? That should be everybody.
Thank you, D'Angelo. And so really appreciate all the introductions. It's great that we have so many employers here and you have educators that are listening and want to learn. It sounds like from all parts of the continuum, K through 12 adult education and community college. So that's fantastic. Our next question we have for you are, what are the skills and occupations that are most in need, or what occupations are you having the most difficulty filling? I know I heard a lot about technician already going on in the room. So I can do my best to facilitate this conversation with like raising hands, or we can just try to be gentlemanly about it, but we'd sure like to hear from you. What are the skills and occupations that are of your greatest need? Would it be easiest to go around the room again quickly, or do you want to just one at a time?
Let's just ask people to chime in.
Okay, just
What
chime in.
comes to top
Okay.
of mind.
Skills and occupations that are of the highest need.
For us, electrical mechanical technician, industrial automation technician, those are just super hard to find anybody that's qualified and that's.
And what do qualifications look like for you?
For an electrical mechanical technician, you have to be able to basically work on low voltage under 480, and then also do all the mechanical stuff as well. For industrial automation, you have to be able to read PLC code, write PLC code, troubleshoot. Troubleshooting is a big thing in our industry because here in Sacramento, we have about, I would say, a little under 50 something production lines and a whole of different machine manufacturers and a lot of different types of control mechanisms. So that space, robotics is also, we have 5 robot packers already here in Sacramento. So troubleshooting the robots and things like that, that's where the skill set for the industrial automation person is really lacking.
Can I ask as a follow-up to that, does that technician then need to know hydraulics, pneumatics, any welding?
All of that.
Okay,
All that plus.
right, okay.
Yeah.
It's pretty standard.
Yeah. Yeah, someone else? What?
I would say similar, like we're finding, obviously great students coming out of mechatronics programs, and there's a lot of community colleges like Sierra and others that have those programs. In the Bay Area, we're starting an apprenticeship program with Mission College with existing mechatronics program. So they already have a 2-year program. We're trying to kind of convert that into a apprenticeship program. But the skills they get out of that, just as we talked about, hydraulics, electrical, maintenance, repair, troubleshooting. Those are the kind of skills, So I guess what I'm saying, even though our industry is very specialized, those basic skills can be learned at a community college or other places, and then the employer will do the specific, process engineer or hardware engineer type roles that are so specific to the industry, but we can't even find enough graduates to fill those positions.
Who else?
If I can add on in this same path, I mean, would agree. Other profiles and skills that we are looking for example, if I can bring value from our side, we are missing some time, or it is difficult for us, for example, to find PLC and robotic programmer seniority in the same workforce profiles. It's just that is something that coming from our maybe European background, it's pretty common in Europe, right? The one thing we found here once we started, hiring in the US, Sacramento, California as well, the same is finding this type of expertise or seniority, both on PLC and robot within the same senior, or in any case already with some experience technician. So it looks like here I'm not saying it's good or bad, it's not to say that sometimes it's hard for us to hire 2 technicians to do one job that sometimes with 1 European technician can be both. So the PLC side and the robotic programming side, for example. This maybe can be also an input for educational programs or whatever, to consider.
Thank you.
I actually, I would second that as well. I think, certainly within our organization, we have a lot of counterparts especially in Europe. Also in Asia. In Europe, it's much more common that we have technicians that are capable across different disciplines. Whereas here we have to train and develop more in a specific skill set. So robot programming is quite a specialized skill set here, where it is more, I think is more prevalent, I think in different areas, or at least more accessible in different areas. So I would say, especially when it comes to automation components, robot programming specifically, or what we deal with is robotic systems integrated into larger manufacturing cells, being able to do troubleshooting across different components. Not necessarily just in one brand or one maybe language, or but having a broader, maybe a slightly higher level knowledge base to be able to apply those principles across different types of equipment.
Thank you. Yes.
So our needs are much less exciting. Level, but we have, we're pretty vertically integrated too. But being basically a mill or a wood fit manufacturer of a whole bunch of different, if you could imagine that we can build it. So technology is definitely a big thing because it's going that way. We've got our first robot this year. Does all our finishing work. CNC machines are getting more complicated all the time. And so the need to be able to run those, it's not a fashionable business, but it's fun and something you can actually, make a living wage at. And we're growing all the time. So, we do have engineers. Saxony's been a good feeder program for us, but it takes 2 to 3 years to get it where we need to be. And they come in, with a lot of knowledge, but zero industry know-how. So it takes 2 years minimum to get them at least to be functional. And then the 3rd and 4th year really gets good. And then someone from the submarine world or neuroscience is going to get them 15 times more money. Like, oh, I'm gonna go build submarines. I'm gonna build drones or this weapon or something, like all those years of training. Anyway, so we're gonna try to hide them, but that's been pretty good. But, baseline employees, but we do have project managers too. They're quite a bit different than what a lot of the industry has, but with the right buzzwords and trying to find the different backgrounds, we can find those. But it takes, the last one took me about 6 months to find. Trying to interview different people. And we have maintenance technicians too. And as things grow and develop, we're gonna need more and more. It's not as quite as complicated as some, like the Blue Diamond, or if you have a bunch of robots, but they still have to be able to do low voltage electrical and be able to, work on the CNC machines and change spindles and do a bunch of different stuff. Even those outside resources, a lot of those companies have a hard time, keeping technicians. And sometimes it can take you 2 weeks if you don't have people internally. Then our baseline employees, we're just looking for people who are motivated, maybe don't want to college education, don't really have the, they don't even, some of these people are very, very smart when they come to us. They don't even know how much they can really do. And so just learning to be able to read, be able to understand metrics, and be able to understand standard, be able to know what square is, be able to build. Do you still build with your hands? Even though a lot of stuff is done by machining, they still have to have basic understanding of blueprints, how things go together, how it's engineered. It's gonna be a quality product, no matter if a widget's a widget, but they still have to have that understanding. And we can teach a lot of that skill set, but if they don't have any of that, it's pretty hard to start from scratch and get them excited about it. So they just hire. The desire, exactly. Look all the way.
Thank you for that. Yeah.
And I would actually second his direction there's a lot of higher tech people here. Machine shops are pretty basic. But they're super necessary. You can't build any of the robots without a machine shop. And some of the things I found in working on some of the high school advisory boards is the kids aren't interested in this level. They want to build the robots. They've learned how to machine briefly to get to the robot, but they don't want to come back and be machinists. And I don't know how we kind of keep them on the farm, like he was saying. We can't offer tons of money. It's a decent, living. Our place is air conditioned and it's kept clean. So it's not a bad place to live, but we end up hiring a lot of immigrants, refugees, because they're interested in staying. They're in a sense, they're scared to leave. They want to stick with where they're comfortable. They've got maybe some people they can talk to. And I'm having trouble getting even though I'm with SVMA, we've been trying to work on getting the schools to provide kids in that direction. They all think they're worth $100,000 right out of high school, and they know nothing. And it's just bizarre. They're not willing to do the steps to get, to be a good worker.
Thank you for that. Yeah.
I believe
Anyone-
there's somebody raised their hand on the Zoom.
Yeah, yeah.
Jordan.
Yeah, I heard the gentleman from DMG Mori talking about robotic programming, and I just wanted to get a few more specifics about that. Are you talking about like 6-axis robots or SCADA type robots, or do you have any specific languages or manufacturers of robots that you obviously
Sure.
DMG Mori?
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. Well, I'll say from our side, it's primarily 6-axis robots within automation cells. There's a number of different manufacturers for those that I think will integrate. So FANUC, Yaskawa, ABB, there's quite a few. But it's primarily for us 6-axis robot programming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then I see there's a question from Denise.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to mention a little about how we are working really hard to grow our dual enrollment program and advanced manufacturing to help exactly with that issue of having high school students that, don't have the lower skill set that many of you might be looking for to start out with. And it so far has been very successful, but we want to be able, and hearing all of this has been wonderful because it's going to help to grow as we go into the next cycle with our high school partners to grow those dual enrollment offerings to allow our high school students to be getting that college credit and training while they're still in high school. So it just kind of validated where we're headed, and that it was so good to hear that we're kind of seeing the same thing. And that's one way we've been able to start putting a dent in those issues.
Thank you. Look for other contributions to skill
Yeah,
development.
I think we're paying the price for a lost generation. I've been at this a long time, and I remember going to events like this 40 years ago and being told that we're going to be a service economy and everybody has to go to college and nobody's going to get their hands dirty, and now we're all scrambling for people. So I want to thank all the educators here that are committed to doing, more closely align what they do in Europe, which is teach kids a good vocation, and it's a great career. And especially with all the automation today, you're not working in a coal mine or something. These are nice jobs. Running a CNC mill is a great thing to do. One of the gaps I see in, we would much rather hire younger people with a great attitude that want to learn versus somebody who, gets, is I don't want to say a retread, but they get turned over every couple of years. But there's they go to these educational programs, whether they're at the high school level, junior college level, and then we take them in, or a company like us takes them in, and then what's next, right? And I think what we struggle with is, we could use help defining a good program for, what is a CNC machinist and what do they need to know? And because what happens is they get thrown in the workforce and we're all trying to make parts and make money, right? Or whether it's electromechanical assembly or machining parts. But, if somebody was like pecking on our shoulder saying, hey, you got to follow these steps here, we would end up with, I think, a more educated, more agile workforce, right? And we all now we're busy and we're hiring some guys that are slowing down, but that'll change, right? And so, we're all kind of all in this together. And so I think we need to educate the kids that are out there that want to do this. We need to, I think, increase their on the job training through a more structured program.
Yeah, thank you for that.
I just have a comment this is mostly geared towards educators. So it's our job to compete in the global marketplace. We're competing with a lot of offshore companies that certainly they've exceeded our capabilities when it comes to automation. So, and the concern I have as I talk to educators, they seem to be focused on robots. Robots hold a very important but small segment of the automation market. The automation market is horizontal machining centers. It is anything you can, anytime you can program for mass production, that is automation. Don't get pigeonholed in, okay, well, the robots are really exciting and they're fantastic for kids to learn, but that's only the first step of what true automation is and what we need as an industry to compete in the world.
Thank you.
Yeah, just to add on to that, I mean, we have CNC laser that we have pretty difficult time finding operators for. We have a pretty blue collar group. We do fabrication, so it's kind of at the bottom of the manufacturing food chain. We can, like you guys, make anything out of wood, we make anything out of metal. And Nick and I were talking about this a little bit before. We get a lot of young guys that come in and they want to weld and they want to burn metal all day long. We have a real hard time finding young guys that are interested in coming in and operating machinery like a press brake or a CNC laser. So that's one thing that I've definitely noticed.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can feel free to still contribute to that last question. I want to ask another question is, how do you anticipate occupations or skills changing in the maybe in the near future, like 3 to 5 years, based on what you're seeing in your industry for those jobs? Are you anticipating anything on the horizon in terms of skills, occupations, or skill needs that would be important for our education and training folks to know about, start preparing for?
Well, I think it'll change a little bit, but I think a big part of it is telling these kids what we expect. You don't get a raise because you show up every day on time. That's the minimum, right? You get a raise by making company money, right? When you know, talk at schools once in a while and somebody else said this, yeah, I want to make $100,000 a year, right? Well, it's like, well, what are you gonna do for them to make that, right? And so I think teaching people that they, you know, it's a two-way street when they go to work for an employer. But I think I didn't answer the question that came out earlier. I think out of all the disciplines we hire for, CNC machinists is our biggest gap. Getting guys to run CNC machines, and you know, like we were talking earlier, you know, 10 kids walk through the door, 8 of them want to go under a welding bed. And I'm like, why would you do that? You know, when you can push buttons and do, you know, but yeah, CNC machines are biggest gap.
Another thing too is, I don't know if this is preached in colleges and stuff, but when I look at someone's resume and they were with a company for 5 years versus 5 different companies 1 year at a time, I mean, stick somewhere, learn some skills, grow with a company before you're ready. If your growth stops there, then you can go on and look elsewhere. But we get a lot of these fab guys that have bounced around their whole life and now they're 35, 40 and they're like, well, I'm looking for the long-term home now. Well, I'd rather find the 25-year-old guy that is green and wants to come in and learn, or that stuck with an apprenticeship for 4 years versus the guy that's bounced around. Now he's kind of a meatball.
I think there was a time for that. I so clearly remember my sister-in-law who was in banking and sort of early IT when it was rooms full of computers that did very little. And she once told me, because she moved around quite a bit, I said, why do you work somewhere 3, 4 years? Oh, if you don't move, you're considered behind the times. You have to move to grow. And I would agree, maybe it worked at that time because we had massive growth and change in IT. Machine shops have changed very little in 40 years. So for my industry, I'm exactly like what he said. If somebody moves around every year, I am not interested.
Yeah, I think that is a fallacy in the marketplace, regardless of just this industry that's going around with the younger community. It's that you have to move in order to grow. Where we used to live by the rule that, you know, you stay to prove your worth. So that is interesting in the younger.
And the old company days of staying there 45 years and retiring, that's a real nice idea, but 10 years, give me 10 years. I have 3.
Anyone else, how you're seeing occupations change or projecting that they might change based on either policy or environmental or technology changes?
I'm interested in how AI is going to affect what we're doing. At many different levels within our organization, from the planning and the drafting and the engineering, the machine programming level, to the machines themselves. What's that going to be?
I would expect AI would be incredibly helpful for diagnostics and programming. That would be, I think, obviously hands-on things are going to be are really going to be hands-on. But I think that's where AI will bridge some of the gaps. I think that we sort of just discovering AI, and suddenly AI looks like the hammer, started to think it looks like the nail. So I think there's some settling out that's going to happen with AI. As AI develops and gets stronger, I think we're going to start to see opportunities there, but we have to really sort of analyze those and not jump right on board.
We have to get
oh,
there.
This is the answer.
We're here in where we're at right now, and we have to get there. That's the challenge.
I think we have the same kind of question too. We just recently implemented an AI project, and the first thing our employee base thought was, here comes Big Brother to watch you, replace all your jobs. And it was great to see the outcome was making them more effective, and the volume was able to increase through that effort. So, but we're not quite sure. We're scratching the surface, just like you're asking that same question. How do we optimize our processes, not necessarily eliminate positions, maybe allow them to do more with the tools and technology? So we're finding that. And then just really quickly, echo everything about the electromechanical technicians, echo what you said about the engineers at the back end. I thought it was interesting that somebody on the call brought up the dual enrollment. We're starting to see that happen quite a bit, where we used to engage high schools for guest lecturing, and they know more than they do 2 years ago, and because they've actually developed these dual enrollment type programs. So I don't know how many within the Sacramento region are doing that, but we're seeing that starting to close as far as some of the challenges where you do need to spin up for a year and a half somebody that's right out of college. That's starting to be a little bit different. So I don't know if anybody else is seeing that out of dual enrollment, individuals that have done that through high school going into college and college going into the workforce, but we're starting to see that happen within our space.
I think, and it varies school district by school district, how aggressive they are about implementing dual enrollment for everybody who's up in Placer County. I think Roseville Joint Unified has dual enrollment with Sierra College, which is really propelling a lot of those students. They come out of high school with effectively their first year of college completed.
Right.
Yeah, thank you. That's helpful. I know I'll soon have to hand it over to Nick, but I wanted to just ask one more question, and that's a great segue. Does anybody have examples of good partnerships with education and training that's working to provide talent for you, that's working well?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we have a great HR manager, and she's all about connecting with the schools, and our building's always open, and when we get talented young people and training. And so it's, yeah, I mean, several people have said this, give me a young person with a great attitude, and you can wait right over somebody who's changed jobs every year.
And that's with high school and community college, and that's your HR person who's very proactive in developing those relationships.
Yeah, and I think, as a company, you need to do that, right? Because nobody's going to do it for you.
They do a great job. And I haven't met you in person, but I've worked with Courtney quite a bit. They do a great job with bringing the high schools in and doing the tours. And I know you guys have done high school internships, which is a challenge because most manufacturers and some companies can't take in a high school student if they're under 18, and there's, all those, financial and insurance issues. But I think that has helped. And you had a current employee who spoke at one of our conferences about how he did his internship there, got hired on, and has continued to grow within that organization. So I think that is an important piece that we need to kind of bridge that gap too. Yeah.
we definitely have the luxury of our size. We have, I think, one person enrolled at Sierra College in the mechatronics program, a couple in the EMT program at Sac City. Our sister site, Central Valley, Slida, we actually partnered with Modesto JC, and we have 15 employees that attend a 4-year while they work with the company to become full EMT Tech 4s by the time they're out. And it's all sponsored through the company. So highly incentivized to send our current staff that you know, might not have, you know, they graduated high school diploma and then they started the ground level production associates, but they've grown through experience at the company, but they don't have those next steps. We work really hard with the junior colleges here in the company on trying to send who we have all company sponsored. You got to put in that time though. Somebody that has that drive, they want to grow, they'll do that program and we'll pay for it. And get highly skilled people coming out of these community colleges.
Yeah, I'll echo what Roger says. Modesto Junior College has some really good industrial automation apprenticeship programs. I know that Blue Diamond participates in that. So, and you know, they have a lot of food processors down there, so you can see where the demand comes from.
What college is it?
Modesto Junior College.
But here, like Sacramento City, Grace program, we toured there, we have somebody there, and then the mechatronics program at Sierra College is also right in line with what we do in food manufacturing here. It gets us a great base to get somebody in, and then we can develop them further with that base on the job.
Thank you. I know, noting that we have one question online that I want to get to. I do want to just, I'm going to plug this a little bit because I used to work in conjunction with adult education a lot, and I do, our community college partners are doing a great job. I will say for those entry-level technician positions, if you're not partnering with adult education, that is sometimes an untapped potential for individuals that that will be a good feeder that folks don't think about. So if you look at adult education in your areas. And then Denise, I think, has a question, and then pretty soon I'm going to hand over to Nick.
Yeah, actually, it's not a question. I just wanted to mention two things. That first of all, thank you so much for all the folks that kind of recognize dual enrollment, and I think it's an untapped like gem in meeting a lot of your needs as employers in the region. And so it's again really good to hear that we're on the right path that way, and our dual enrollment program has expanded in the last year and a half by 40%, of which mechatronics and advanced manufacturing are growing. The other thing I just wanted to mention, and you know, again, we're all about partnerships. We love partnering with our industry reps and hearing all of you. And you actually helped us to redesign our advanced manufacturing degree and certificate. It is now fully interdisciplinary, where it's bringing in classes from mechatronics, from welding, plus our own advanced manufacturing courses in CNC and technical drawing and a lot of the other skills that are required, as well as a couple of business classes to help students with those basic business skills that sometimes aren't always as visible as they should be. So you're really reaffirming kind of where we've gone based on our own advisories that a lot of you may be a part of, and will continue to be, because that's really where we grow our partnerships. And as I had said earlier, we're very interested in expanding our internship program in this area.
Thank you so much, Denise. That is
Sierra College.
Yeah, mechatronics. So at this point, we're going to close the online portion of the event. There'll be an extended conversation here in the room that Nick's going to leave in, and additional supports to